Welcome to the vibrant capital of the United Kingdom, London, England, a city where history and modernity blend seamlessly. Double-decker buses become a must-try experience, and over 300 languages can be detected in its busy streets. But London wasn't always what it is today. London's story began 2,000 years ago as a modest Roman outpost known as Londinium. Established around 43 AD, strategically located on the banks of the River Thames, it quickly grew into a bustling port and commercial hub. The Romans constructed significant infrastructure, including a bridge across the Thames and a defensive wall that marked the boundaries of the fledgling city. As the empire declined, London evolved through medieval times, surviving invasions, fires, and plagues, gradually expanding into the vibrant cosmopolitan city we know today. With its iconic landmarks such as the Tower of London, the Big Ben, the Buckingham Palace, and the London Eye, as well as its rich cultural scene and historic sites, London offers a wealth of experiences for everyone who visits. Let's dive deep into the marvels that the city has to offer, starting with the Tower of London. The Tower of London is one of the most famous landmarks in the United Kingdom. Built at the end of 1066, during the Norman conquest of England, the tower has played an important role in the country's history. The White Tower, the main building, was started by William the Conqueror in 1078 to protect London and show Norman power. Over time, other kings like Richard the Lionheart, Henry III, and Edward I added more walls and towers to the complex. In its early years, the Tower of London was used as a royal residence. Kings and queens would stay there before their coronations and use it as a safe place during times of trouble. By the 12th century, the tower began to be used as a prison. Many famous prisoners were held there, including Anne Boleyn, Sir Thomas More, and Lady Jane Grey, some of whom were executed. The tower also served other purposes. It was an armory and a treasury, housing the crown jewels since the 14th century. Public executions were held on Tower Hill, adding to its grim history. Today, the Tower of London is a popular tourist destination. Millions of people visit each year to explore its history and architecture. Visitors can see the White Tower, which houses the Royal Armoury's collections, including the Line of Kings display. The crown jewels, including the Imperial State Crown and the Koh-i-Noor diamond, are on display in this jewel house. Reconstructed rooms in the medieval palace show how kings and queens lived in the past. Yeoman warders, also known as beefeaters, give guided tours and share stories about the tower's history. Visitors can also see the famous ravens, which according to legend are essential for the kingdom's security. The tower hosts special events and exhibitions such as historical reenactments and the nightly ceremony of the keys. The Tower of London is accessible to all visitors, with facilities for those with mobility issues. Tickets can be bought online or on site, and there are options for guided or self-guided tours. Educational programs are available for schools and groups, making the tower a great place to learn about British history. And speaking about British history, let us move along to our next historical landmark, the Big Ben. Everyone knows or has heard about the Big Ben of London. But what is actually the Big Ben? Is it the clock on the tower itself, the builder of it all? What is it? To understand what the Big Ben is, we must give out some context first. The Houses of Parliament, also known as the Palace of Westminster, has a history that dates back to the 11th century, making it the oldest royal palace in London, a World Heritage Site, and one of the most recognized buildings in the world. Originally a royal residence for Edward the Confessor, it became the meeting place for the English Parliament in the 13th century. After a fire in 1834 destroyed most of the old palace, architects Sir Charles Barry and Augustus Pagan designed the current Gothic Revival building. Construction began in 1840 and took over 30 years to complete, and now it continues to stand beautifully. Just look at it. Now, about the Big Ben. The most famous part of the building is the Northern Clock Tower, now called the Elizabeth Tower, which houses probably the most famous clock in the world, a place from which time is measured, with each face nearly 21 feet wide, the minute hands over 12.6 feet long, and the hour hands weighing 660 pounds each. It is the largest four-face chiming clock in the world. Big Ben is the name commonly used for the 300-foot clock tower, but it actually refers to the great bell inside the tower, which strikes the hour. The tower was renamed the Elizabeth Tower in 2012 to honor Queen Elizabeth II's Diamond Jubilee. Although the clock was started on 31st May 1859, Big Ben rang for the first time over London a month later, on 11th July. Today, the clock tower is one of the most recognizable symbols of the United Kingdom. Big Ben's chimes are broadcast on the BBC and mark the new year for many people around the world. Today, the Houses of Parliament and Big Ben are major tourist attractions. Visitors can admire the building's stunning architecture or take a guided tour to explore its history and political significance. The tour includes the House of Commons, the House of Lords, and Westminster Hall, which dates back to 1097. The Elizabeth Tower, which houses Big Ben, is open to visitors, but access is restricted and requires advance arrangements. Visitors can tour the tower, including climbing the 334 steps to the belfry, where Big Ben is located. However, these tours are typically only available to UK residents, and bookings must be made through a Member of Parliament, MP, or a member of the House of Lords. Non-UK residents unfortunately cannot access tours inside the Elizabeth Tower, but they can admire the exterior and visit the nearby Parliament buildings, which offer guided tours, including Westminster's Hall, the House of Commons and the House of Lords. Nearby, Parliament Square features statues of notable figures like Winston Churchill and Nelson Mandela. The Jewel Tower and the Supreme Court are also worth visiting. These landmarks offer a fascinating look at the UK's past and present, making them must-see attractions for anyone who steps foot in London. And if you think the Houses of Parliament are impressive, wait till you see our next spot, where the royal family spends a lot of their time. Can you guess which one it is? You guessed it right. We're talking about the Buckingham Palace. Buckingham Palace is one of London's most famous landmarks and serves as the official home of the British monarch. The palace's history began in the early 1700s as a large house built for the Duke of Buckingham. In 1761, King George III purchased it for his wife, Queen Charlotte, and it became known as the Queen's House. In 1820, King George IV turned it into a palace, hiring architect John Nash to redesign it with a central block and two wings. Queen Victoria was the first monarch to live there, starting in 1837. Over time, the palace was further updated, including adding the famous east front and balcony during Queen Victoria's reign. The forecourt was redesigned, and the Victoria Memorial was added in 1911. Today, Buckingham Palace is a major tourist attraction. Visitors come to watch the changing of the guard, a colorful ceremony with music from a military band. The ceremony draws large crowds. During the summer, when the Queen is not at the palace, the staterooms are open to the public. Visitors can explore the throne room and ballroom, which are used for official events. The Royal Mews, where the royal carriages and horses are kept, is also open, featuring the gold state coach and information about staff who care for the horses. The Queen's Gallery showcases art from the royal collection, including paintings and sculptures. The palace gardens, covering 39 acres, are open in the summer and feature a lake, rose garden, and summer house, with tours explaining their history. Buckingham Palace represents the British monarchy and offers a fascinating glimpse into royal history and British culture. How gorgeous is the view of this place? Not bad at all, huh? However, if we're talking about breathtaking views, it's time to move on to our next adventure and visit the Eye of London, where wondrous city views await. Are you ready? Let's do this. The Eye of London, also known as the London Eye, is a popular tourist attraction in London. This giant Ferris wheel stands on the south bank of the River Thames and offers amazing views of the city. The London Eye was built to celebrate the new millennium. Architects David Marks and Julia Barfield designed it, and construction began in 1998, finishing in 1999. It opened to the public on March 9, 2000. At 443 feet high, it was the tallest Ferris wheel in the world when it opened. Today, it remains the tallest observation wheel in Europe. The London Eye is a must-see for visitors. It provides a unique way to see London from above. The wheel has 32 sealed, air-conditioned capsules, each holding up to 25 people. A full rotation takes about 30 minutes, giving visitors time to enjoy the view and take photos. The ride is smooth and slow, so people of all ages can enjoy it. From the top, you can see famous landmarks like the Houses of Parliament, Big Ben, Buckingham Palace, and the Tower of London. The view is especially beautiful at sunset, and at night when the city lights are up. Before boarding, visitors can watch the London Eye 4D experience, a short film with special effects. There is also a London Eye river cruise, which offers a different view of the city with commentary about London's history. Tickets can be bought online or on site, with options of fast-track entry and combinations with other attractions. The London Eye is wheelchair accessible and can be hired for special events like weddings and New Year's Eve fireworks. Definitely worth a visit during the summer months when London does get some sun, if you're lucky of course. These landmarks, each with their own unique history, capture the essence of London. We have officially virtually visited the Tower of London with its rich history as a royal residence and prison, the Houses of Parliament and Big Ben, showcasing British politics and architecture, and arguably the most famous belle in the world, the Buckingham Palace, official home of the British monarch, with its grand staterooms and changing of the guard ceremony, and the London Eye, a giant Ferris wheel offering stunning city views. Have you visited any of these landmarks? Which one is at the top of your list? And what other hidden gems or iconic sites in London or elsewhere should we explore next? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you made it this far and enjoyed the video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. If you want to see more of these types of videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, for we'll be bringing you a new video every week. In our next episode, we'll be taking you to a magical place, home to the Royal Palace, the Prado Museum, and a fun street known as La Gran Via. Can you guess where we're going? Let us know in the comments and come join us. This was History Travels, and we'll see you on the next one.